Welcome to Mueller Time, episode 4. We have actually, before I get into that, guys, don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, YouTube, and, Jeremy, now we're on Amazon Alexa.
Oh, amazing. I recently got an Alexa as a gift, so that's perfect.
I love it. So, by the way, we got a special guest. Actually, I don't know where my co-host is, Chris. So we luckily had my buddy Jeremy, who incidentally used to work for President Obama.
Yeah, very proud to say.
Yeah, perfect person to call. So, hey, man, thanks so much for filling in.
Of course.
And, if we're going to talk about Mueller or whatever, there's nobody better than you.
Sure, I appreciate that. I'm glad to be here. And Obama administration has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, remember?
We really missed that, I think.
Remember when we had just forget even your political views, just a president who wasn't mentally totally defective.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, it was nice having a president that we could actually, I trusted the guy.
Right.
I
did too. There were things I disagreed with, but I knew if they always make that thing about something goes down at 3 a.m. Remember that thing they did it with Hillary?
Yeah.
You knew that Obama was going to be on top of it.
Oh, exactly. And he had the stamina.
Right.
I still think Hillary had the stamina, even though Trump didn't think she had the stamina.
Right.
He,
actually, Trump has no stamina.
He doesn't.
It's pretty clear. He's a very low energy. Obviously, besides being morbidly obese and all that other stuff, he doesn't appear to have a lot of stamina at all.
Right. You would think that I'm not completely sure if he gets around on a golf cart when he golfs, or does he walk the whole course? Because it could help him. That would be a great way for him to exercise, don't you think? But Trump Tower, up and down the elevator, escalators. Does this guy get any exercise?
Well, I don't know if you know this, and I'm not making this up at all. Did you know that he believes in that exercise takes away from your body's, he thinks he's a conspiracy theorist. He thinks your body has a finite amount of energy and exercise is detrimental.
Interesting. Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
it's like the guy was born on a Reddit forum or something.
Right.
He doesn't know what the fuck Reddit is, but
I'm sure his dad, another one of those brainwashing tactics.
Yeah.
His father ingrained in him.
Great.
It's just hopefully we don't have too much longer, guys, but it's been a spoiled child just in the office.
Yeah.
It's really, really sad. Having that opportunity, living in D.C. for a couple of months, 2012, one of the best summers of my life.
Oh, yeah.
I was blessed enough to go back, and every time I went back and walking through the city, I just felt positive energy, like anything was possible.
Yeah.
Because of the leaders we had. We might not have agreed with everything President Obama was doing and the Obama administration.
Sure.
But at least I could trust the guy. He was loyal to his wife. He raised a couple of wonderful daughters.
Uh-huh.
One who is now in Harvard. The other one.
What are you saying? Ivanka isn't a great person?
Obama, at least, he had to work from the bottom up to get to where he is, instead of having everything, thrown to him, on a golden platter,
So let me since you brought that up, let me get right into it. Did you see the Stormy Daniels interview on 60 Minutes?
I did, yeah.
So,
Anderson Cooper, I'm a big fan of Anderson Cooper. I believe he did a great job. And I heard 60 Minutes had the highest ratings they had, or the most views in maybe 10 years or so.
Yeah, Trump must love that. So the thing you said about, we just brought up Ivanka, one of the bar none sickest things I've ever heard in my life, I'm sure you already know what I'm going to say.
Right.
That he compares the porn stars he's with to his own daughter.
Yeah, that is
sick.
It really is. I'm wondering,
And you, right before we started taping, you said, about the evangelicals still supporting him. You support a guy who basically, I'm sorry, he wants to fuck his own daughter.
Oh, God.
Apologize for going there, but
yeah,
that's just,
I don't know.
Sick.
I can't think of any other. I'm not going to call the president a politician, but anybody that's ever been in office, nobody comes to mind that's ever talked about one of their children in a sexual way.
I don't, there's no words for it, which is hard because this is a podcast.
Yeah.
But what could you say?
Right. It's just, it's evangelicals. I think, the Bible probably says that this isn't okay. I'm not well versed on the Bible, but everything that you guys preach about or against, Donald Trump is doing.
Yeah. It's
he lies every minute of his life. He's been cheating on his wife for who knows how long.
right.
I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the First Lady doesn't travel with him too much, or they don't ride on Marine One, which is the president's helicopter. Or it seems like she's been trying to keep her distance.
Yeah, and
for lack of a better way to.
I think she totally. I mean, I don't have any. I group her in with all the other deplorables. I can't stand her, but I will say that. I mean, that's this woman throwing in one of the worst things you can do. And you can ask any man, cheating is bad enough, but if you throw it in a woman's face, that's when all hell breaks loose, as it should. And
to make it even more disgusting, they had unprotected sex.
I was just telling my dad about that.
That's perfectly fine to do with your spouse that you trust. But when you're married, you're having sex with a porn star.
Right.
You're probably paying her to have sex with you. And you don't even use a condom, Donald Trump.
Right, and
for the American people, will you go get a test for us? Let's see. Do you have any?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Stormy Daniels has any sexually transmitted diseases, but how many women have you slept with, Donald Trump?
Right, multiply it by that, and how many STDs has this guy had? I mean, he must have had every single one. Because I was thinking that exact thing that you said about that,
yeah.
Like, wow, you're putting your wife at risk. You could be putting future kids at risk.
Right. And for all of you, whoever out there doesn't believe Stormy Daniels, I believe she has done a lie detector test. So if you believe Donald Trump over Stormy, have your guy do a lie detector test, have it go up against Stormy's, and see what happens,
And I don't even.
What other way can we do it? You guys are. It's like you're just throwing stuff into the wind.
And polygraphs are basically they're obviously not admissible in court because it's more based on the examiner. But the point is,
right.
We saw her on TV and she came off as very believable.
Yeah.
And obviously against the pathological liar. Man, I can't get over that thing you just said though about the STDs. I mean,
it's
and. Look, I work in entertainment. Like a lot of people, one thing you'll hear is like, well, porn stars get tested for, they do get tested for AIDS every week or whatever. It doesn't matter. That stuff can lay dormant for a little while before it comes up.
Yeah. I think the strongest point to make is a married man had sex with a porn star.
Right.
Unprotected sex.
Right.
He could have gone home the same evening or the next day or that weekend and had sex with his wife, Melania Trump. And they could all be HIV positive
that's
now.
right.
That's the point I'm making. The man who is in the White House has the most powerful position on the planet. In essence, had the lack of foresight to even care enough about thinking that his wife could have got an STD or even AIDS. That's who you guys elected.
Yeah.
On that note, could, to an extent, I can forgive people.
Right.
Who voted for Trump if they're willing to have some type of
sure. Yeah. On that note,
if they feel bad about it now,
I
don't know what else to say to anybody who still supports him.
I was going to say real quick. So we no, you can have some coffee, man. Just I have this glass table that we broadcast on, and it makes like every sound. But the guest is always right. So go ahead and place that softly on there. Thank you. So I hit them. So real quick, I hit the March for Our Lives. Chris and I went.
Good job, buddy. I'm really proud of you. No. All the people that went out, absolutely amazing. I saw the photos. I saw the videos. Everybody that gathered all around the country, especially in D.C. I don't think they've had crowds that large since I was blessed enough to be able to go to President Obama's, inauguration.
The inauguration, right?
Yeah. The whole mall was completely filled up. I was at one of the top, probably the top, first quarter of the whole mall. And I remember at the end of his speech looking back and it was completely filled up.
Yeah.
So I was having flashbacks to being there.
At Donald Trump's, I remember seeing just a groundskeeper sweeping the. No, I wasn't there, but if I was there, that's what I would have seen. But I also would have been probably killed myself. So
I would have been.
But dude, the march was
tough, yeah.
We got there real early. We got a lot of great footage, and one thing was cool, man. We interviewed this guy, William Legate.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you know this, but he's like the biggest. He's been blocked by every member of the Trump family on Twitter.
Oh, he has.
He's an app developer and sort of an activist guy, but man, I mean, this guy's funny. Like, he's mastered the format, and he actually gave a really good speech. This Twitter stuff. When I started, I thought it was just kind of a joke, but now you can really have a social impact, which I think we've all learned in a good and bad way.
Nice.
But it was cool, man. It was, we have our Mueller Time Facebook page, and I let everyone know we're making a video. It's going to be up this Saturday, along with our show right here.
Great.
So I was glad.
It was a beautiful thing, seeing everybody come together across the United States, but not only across the United States, which is an even more powerful thing.
Yeah,
people across the world were actually
getting
out there and protesting for the United States because they know that the gun laws here are absolutely ridiculous. It's insane. Spitballing here, but another person that makes me absolutely sick is Marco Rubio. I forget what it said in Huffington Post. There was a headline that said something like, Marco Rubio said that nobody's listening to you children. I forget exactly what it was, but it was something that was disgusting because Marco Rubio is a young man. He has his own kids that are, at least in high school or younger. And, what is it going to take? I hate to even say that. Does a politician's kid have to be caught in the middle of a crossfire at a school for them to not...
Would it even matter?
Say positive things about the NRA.
Look, would it even matter? I mean, Steve Scalise got shot by a lunatic, and he's still pro-gun.
That's true.
In fact, more than that, his life was saved by a special agent who's gay, and he's still homophobic.
No,
can you fucking believe that?
Yeah, it's
just.
I'm sure he's a pretty religious guy, or is he in mass?
Oh, of course. I mean, probably not. I don't know.
It's horrible to think. Yeah,
but yeah, that was I was going to say there was a school shooting when I was a kid. Okay, a man walked into my school.
Really?
And he killed the secretary. Who was his ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh.
During school hours, killed the secretary and killed himself.
I can't even...
They had the SWAT team, the whole thing. Now, I'm not going to say that I was traumatized because I didn't see it.
But gun violence at your school is scary enough, man.
Yeah, and they sent us home with a note. And that was that was pretty much it. Maybe a counselor if you wanted to.
Oh, gosh.
It could have just as easily gone another way. He could have just walked into the classroom and started shooting.
Yeah. It's like, do you feel safe going to any public event, Disneyland, Universal Studios, all these places, before you go into their theme parks, you have to go through security and a metal detector.
Right.
Now, without that, I wouldn't feel safe going to those theme parks.
Is that right?
I don't really feel safe going to, like, clubs. I went to a film screening tonight. I'm not going to mention where it was. But they didn't have metal detectors. They didn't have security. Wait, they had security, but we didn't have to go through metal detectors, and there was a lot of people there. They were just...
I'm just curious. Why can't you mention it was like secret place?
I don't want to put any business or anybody's specific company on the...
It was at Stormy Daniels' house, Vivid Video.
No.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. If you are going to have a screening and you're going to let any type of public person come. It's unfortunate that we do have to think about these things. Because of gun violence. But I only feel safe 100% if there are metal detectors. But
no, I don't blame you, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's this being Mueller time and all. Let's jump into Bob Mueller. And actually, I haven't really talked to you that much about. So what do you think about how the investigation's going?
Bob Mueller, I believe in the guy. I think, he's crossing all the T's, dotting the I's, and he's doing everything he can to cover all ground to make sure that he's doing this the right way. And I believe something new comes out every day. How many corrupt people have worked for Trump? The Russian ties.
Yeah.
Manafort. I'm honestly surprised that he hasn't pled guilty. Like, I'm forgetting the guy's name that did plead guilty, who was in the meeting with him. Papadopoulos is his name. And I even saw his wife do an interview that said, there's so much more that's going to come out. And
his wife, who's, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up. This has not been reported much, but no, man, get that coffee, man.
Okay,
it's
thanks.
fine. Yeah, no, enjoy yourself.
Oh boy.
Hey, this is. It doesn't get much better than this, man. A little podcasting here in Los Angeles. I don't know if you noticed, but his wife is, they say Italian, but when she talks, she's clearly Russian.
Right.
He met her, I don't think that long ago, and I mean, I'm not trying to sound paranoid, but also if you look at them together, she's way more attractive. Put those things together, given what we're in right now, and you couldn't make a man wonder if something else was going on there. I
definitely don't know everything that went on. We obviously don't know.
Russians like to use beautiful women,
but I'm glad that he has come out, and he's going to be. He's already been a big help to bringing this thing down.
He thought this was his big moment, and he was the first to go down because they met him at that airport, and I mean they probably explained it to him. Do you want your life to be over right now at age 33?
Right.
Only a fool would say yes.
Yeah.
So, hey, did you know Manafort has to wear 2 ankle bracelets?
Really?
Which I don't even understand why you need 2 as opposed to 1. But apparently they're so afraid of this guy fleeing the country because of his wealth and.
It's so. I'm not going to be surprised if he ends up behind bars. It's a sad situation. The guy could. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I've heard that it could be even worse. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, I don't know why I'm having like a flash forward or something. It's just, I don't know. He's probably going to end up behind.
Or marked for death. That's what they were saying. I didn't even.
Marked for, really?
Yeah. I wasn't even thinking about that. And I read an article. They were saying like his biggest worry is probably not going to prison. It's one of these oligarchs stabbing him with some poison, like what happened with those people in Britain the other day. Because he really knows things about people. And they can get you anywhere, man. They beat that guy to death in that hotel in D.C., the founder of RT.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people don't know about that, the founder of Russia Today.
Yeah.
Who they said died of a drunken fall, except he was beaten. He had bruises. It was a joke. He was beaten to death.
Who isn't our current president willing to sell out for himself? I honestly don't know if he would even. It seems like he would even sell out his family members. The guy is such a loose. He's so mentally
he
ill.
is.
I just don't even.
Remember that movie, The Departed?
Mm-hmm.
Remember how how Jack Nicholson ends up at the end? He's a gangster who will sell anybody out. I mean, I keep thinking about that movie.
Yeah.
Because he's exactly that. I mean, even at the end of the movie, he's selling out his surrogate kind of son, Matt Damon.
Right.
And I mean, there's that scene where, not to get into the whole movie, but he's like Matt Damon, because he's a cop. He's a police officer who secretly works for the mob. Mm-hmm. And he's like, do they know about me, Frank? And Jack looks at him. He's like, nobody knows nothing. But the way he says it is like, everybody knows everything.
Yeah.
He's like, do they know about me?
Right.
And it's before everything collapses. And that's how he's going to do his own family, his son-in-law, all them.
Yeah, it's. I mean, how much worse can it really get? At the end of the day, he might have all this attention going on around him, but he's really nothing but a lonely man. Take a close look at the snapshots of Melania. Does she look like a happy woman?
I feel like I hear the Incredible theme.
I think soon as. I'm hoping that he does, get impeached. I feel that when he does leave office, that she's going to divorce him. I mean, I think the only reason she hasn't done that yet is because I don't know why she
Well, they may-
hasn't. She can. Has that ever happened?
Well, they may have an arrangement. Also,
You
I'm sure they have something in writing, but also, what is she going to do? She has no skills. I mean, she was, even the idea that she was ever a model is pretty questionable to begin with, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? I mean, I'm sure she has bills to pay. She has a son.
Right.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
And I was going to say the big thing that, in terms of Mueller, I don't know if you've been following like Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, or do you, all that stuff.
I haven't actually.
It's basically like, all the stuff with Facebook and the election. Obviously, they flooded the ads.
Of course, definitely. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you're like an everyday follower or like you check in every couple days. I mean, I know you follow the news pretty close.
I do. Yeah, I check updates on Huffington Post and CNN and MSNBC pretty much every day. Yeah.
Well, basically, like, I know you already know that like Cambridge Analytica was the company that the Trump campaign sort of hired to kind of like a middleman. Mm-hmm. And they're in the focus now as part of the Mueller investigation because they're a foreign company that probably was a middleman between the Trump campaign and the Russians, and they created a lot of propaganda. And it's just, if you, for any of you guys listening, if you get a chance, just the best resource is the British Channel 4 interview where they did an undercover operation on this Cambridge Analytica. This is like some James Bond villain stuff.
Right.
I mean, did you get a chance to check it out?
No.
If you get a chance, like, it's these people on video saying how they've swung in all these third world countries like Kenya. Mm-hmm. They've changed the course of history by swinging the elections. They flooded with it's dude. I couldn't sleep almost.
Yeah. Vladimir Putin, he won the election,
right.
But I heard so many people were stuffing 6 or 7 ballots in. Voting multiple
They do
times.
this everywhere.
Yeah.
And the guy wasn't kidding. And now they did it to us.
Right.
It was incredible. Like, I mean, literally, there's no words. You just got to check it out. So these guys are done, but the damage is done.
Right.
And they were bragging about it. They were bragging about setting people up, setting politicians up with, prostitutes.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you think is fake, but then you actually read about it, you're like, holy shit, this is actually, there's people out there who actually can do this.
Yeah.
They pulled it off.
If we could take any phone calls, let's have somebody call in to say, let us know if it was appropriate for Donald Trump to make a phone call to Vladimir Putin and congratulate him on his election.
So what do you think about, they expelled all these diplomats like yesterday. It was one of the bigger, so everyone was kind of like, I know I was actually a little surprised because I didn't think that he could do anything against Putin. Mm-hmm. Do you think he had to, or he didn't say anything, obviously, which was the big tell. It was done by, when they dragged some fool out to do the speech, it was like Huckabee.
Right. Yeah.
But I was just wondering, maybe he got forced to do it or something. I don't know. It didn't really
Donald
make
Trump
sense.
pulling out their diplomats.
Action, yeah. They think they expelled 60 Russian diplomats,
right?
Which is a lot
because of the poisoning that happened.
Exactly.
That's why they did it.
Yeah. I was surprised but I think probably his hand, again, he didn't say shit. For all I know, he doesn't even know about it because he's a moron. But I guess their hand was forced. Then it was like a collective effort.
Huh.
But the big thing that people said was, as long as he doesn't do anything to the oligarchs, it doesn't really hurt Putin.
Right.
Because, they can replace those diplomats. It's just / intelligence agents. Mm-hmm. But it's not like it doesn't really hurt them. Yeah. The money is what would hurt them.
Right.
Speaking of which, I'm reading this book about Putin called The Man Without a Face by Masha Gessen. Yeah,
interesting.
You should check it out, dude.
Yeah?
Because I was thinking about it. It's funny, like, I don't know anything about Putin, and I didn't even realize someone wrote a book about him, but this woman did. She's a famous journalist. It's you'll learn a lot about why we're here.
Wow.
The man without a face, because that's exactly what he is.
Right.
It's about his rise to power, and no one really knows. Even the guy the oligarch who pushes him all through from a lowly bureaucrat to the top of Russia's president, he doesn't even really know who Putin is.
Oh my gosh.
And that's an amazing talent.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So he just got reelected for another 6 years?
6,000 years.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Is this, I heard on NPR the other day, this is supposed to be his last term?
Oh, did they say that?
Yeah, but I don't know all of the,
Because I don't see why he would ever relinquish power. I mean, it's like the guy in China. Why?
I'm not sure how Russia has it set up. Is it the same? I don't think it's the same as China.
I'm actually not sure.
Serve.
I would guess that, you know what, man? I don't know. I feel like he could be president for life if he wanted to, but I don't know.
Yeah.
China, they just changed the law for this guy.
Right.
If you're powerful enough, you can do that. It's usually not a good thing for a country.
Yeah, that's not good.
But Putin, guys like Putin are always, I mean, he's got to be careful because he has enemies too. And all those guys are, you know.
It seems like his lifeline is staying in office. It's
Bingo.
like the Manafort situation.
Right.
Once Putin's out, seems like he's going to have a lot of people coming after him. We could have a whole nother segment on if we brought in like a psychologist to, kind of psychoanalyze the psyche or how does one become somebody like Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump? Like, why would you ever want to do such horrible things? He's thrown people at it. He's killing his people in his own country just to protect his well-being.
Yeah, I think the main thing is that if you look at it which is everybody is the hero of their own movie. So all these people think that they're doing the right thing. It's even in that book about Putin. He thinks that when he's assassinating someone, he thinks he's doing it for his country. I mean, that's how he looks at it.
Right.
And Trump, when he's doing any number one of insane things, he thinks it's the right thing.
Right.
He just doesn't understand that he's insane.
Huh.
It's like very few people, even the most evil person in the world, they don't think I'm evil. They think I'm right. I'm righteous.
Right.
But part of being an adult is understanding how to picture the world from someone else's perspective. That's what a guy like Trump can't do.
Yeah.
Or his deplorable followers.
Make America great again.
Right.
Please give us some examples, Trying to bring more jobs to America. I don't know if anybody watched the Jimmy Kimmel show the other week where Jimmy purchased a bunch of Donald Trump's merchandise off of his website.
Made in China.
Hats, T-shirts, whatever it was. And then he showed his audience on air that none of his stuff was made in America.
It's almost like too much. It's almost too perfect for a comedian. When you're a comedian, like me,
right?
For instance,
of course.
You don't expect a setup like that.
Yeah,
it can't be that easy. And when you're a comedy writer,
right,
and you're on a show, and it's you got a deadline. It's like, wait, what? His stuff is actually I don't have to do any work at all. I can go to lunch early.
Yeah.
And even now, how could it still be now after all this?
Oh, gosh. Jimmy even found a couple, I don't know if it was a couple of pieces of merchandise that didn't even say where it was manufactured.
Right.
And then Jimmy found out that that's actually illegal in the United States to
is that right?
actually,
It's so insane how I've worked in Hollywood about 10 years or so, and then so do you. And so, we both worked with Sheriff Khan, man. I know that. And it's just amazing when the other people don't see him as a con man. I mean, he's not like a slick one. There's some really good ones out there. He's not one of them. He's just the guy who, the rainmaker.
I believe it's, a product of what he was born into, unfortunately,
Right.
He's always felt that he was above the law because he always had more money than every single person.
You're right.
Probably around him in his life. And once, whatever you want to call it, a rich kid, high school kid that's driving a $100,000 Porsche, whatever it is, they always feel they're above the law. They're better than their peers.
Right.
And it just creates this ridiculous mind frame.
Right.
And that he's had that his whole life, and this is where we are because of the complete ignorance
He was never
in
held
this
accountable.
country. If anybody thinks the country's better now than it was when Obama was in office, just speak to people around the world. Travel, go to Europe, go anywhere in the world and ask if our country is liked by our leader.
It's weird too. I've never, people who live in third world countries and, developing countries, they, who have these, you'll read about these crazy leaders they have or these crazy things that happen. And you read about that from America, and it's always you'd sort of laugh and be like, wow, what a joke. And we never experience what it's like to be a complete joke. So that's been a real, I mean, that's a hard experience. Like I never thought America would be a joke like this. And maybe that's, some of it's not a bad thing. Maybe it's brings us a little bit back down to earth with the rest of the world, with the Berlusconis and, you know, the Putins and I don't know, just take your pick of third world dictators.
Yeah.
You know, now we got our own with the porn star. And I mean, that's like, we got our own, and we got, you know,
how much more? How much more do we need to hear, guys?
Yeah.
Before we let this, you know, this president of ours go, and you know, the runner-up, you know, I could say he's better, but he's not a leader. He's not going to be a great president in any way. I don't even know where to start with Pence.
Yeah. Let's hope we don't have to start at all.
Yeah. And then Paul Ryan, if you're listening, you're a coward. Mark Rubio, you're a coward.
Yeah.
Come on. This is a complete joke. We're not taking your guns away. Second Amendment.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody needs a semi-automatic gun to, go hunting. Why are you killing, Trump's kids are killing endangered species as well.
Oh, yeah. We've all seen those photos.
And even we could talk, for 30 minutes about that. If you have to hunt, go hunt deer or something. I'm against hunting. I'm not a hunter.
Well, that's all part of a bigger thing.
I'm not trying to take your gun rights away. You don't need a semi-automatic.
You don't have to be Sigmund Freud to know what that stuff's all about. It's about a certain part of a male anatomy that isn't what it was, what you wanted it to be. So same reason people drive a Ford F-350. And
it's sad.
I was going to tell you one more thing, and then I think it's about that time, which is awesome. Yeah. It went fast, but I was going to say, this country, our country, we threw elections all over the world. I mean, in South America, and we did all this stuff, and then it's really come back on us, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Somebody finally did it to us.
Yeah,
and it's it really get it's. I mean, you and I know we were never part of that, but it's a trip to have it done to you.
Yeah, it really is.
They got us so bad. So, I mean, it's. Anyway, man.
All I can say is Facebook to be continued. I think we all signed up years ago. I don't know how many minds it crossed that, how much of our information would be sold to other companies.
Yeah.
Do our listeners realize that they're making around $39 billion a year based on our information?
Yeah.
That we, everything that you like, trailers that pop up,
they do
whatever
now.
It is, Taco Bell ads.
Yeah, they do now.
That's how Facebook makes their money. Maybe next time you think about liking something.
Yeah.
It's almost like feeling like you're being watched. Your phones can literally track where you are. These companies, you can either disable it or enable them to track where you are at any given time, purchasing.
But don't forget to like the Mueller Time Facebook page.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, that's the one. If you do like one thing, like that. Like
I don't have
page.
anything against Facebook. I don't have anything against liking.
No, I'm serious, dude.
Just,
do you like the page?
Of course I like the page, man. Just think. That's all I'm trying to say. Think more before you like something. Next time you like it, I think, Facebook has done a lot of good. It can be used for so much positive.
Yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't have been able to get all these people in D.C. or around the country to these marches without social media. So there's, there's a lot of power and positivity in social media. So use it for the right reasons, everybody. That's all I'm saying.
Amen. So, dude, hey, thanks a lot for coming on Mueller Time today.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to be here, man. I'm glad you're doing this. Keep pushing it forward.
Yeah,
you're making this, world a better place.
Hey, we're all trying, right?
Yeah,
we're all trying.
I wish we all were.
All right, guys. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we'll find out where Chris is, because otherwise, looks like we got a great what we call you the pickup, the second, the first string.
Right.
All right, brother. Well, hey, thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Of course.